Tonight on News 5 Live, he was well known as the head of the Border Management Agency. Who killed Gonzalo Rosado and why? As COVID-19 frontline start their vaccinations, teachers and others wonder when their turn will come. And diplomatic activity resumes in the adjacency zone. Find out which Guatemalan official will be meeting his Belizean counterpart on March 4th. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that you can access unlimited services with Smart. Tired of being measured or cut off when you need to be connected? It's a fact that when you sign up for Smart's Plus plan, you get unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data. And it's a fact that you can sign up with your group of up to 5 members for Smart's Share plans and up to 40 members for Smart's Enterprise plans for unlimited talk, text, and data. Smart has the true unlimited plans. That's a fact. Be smart and live smart.
My name is Sandra Johnson. I've been living in Belize, mostly on the Placencia Peninsula, for over 27 years. I love being an agent, and I love working for RF&G. If there's anything that I feel as an agent I'm struggling with or have questions about, the head office team is right there to help. It makes me proud to be an RF&G agent because of the credibility that RF&G has.
I am your neighbor. I am your friend. I am your RF&G agent.
Find your nearest RF&G agent on our website at rfginsurancepolice.com, where it pays to get it right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's the sound of fuel efficiency. Every day, every time, I choose Una Fuels, powered with Dynamax. Una, a brand committed with the future.
We know it's not a public and bank holiday, but that doesn't mean you can't find the time to take advantage of Mikado's Election Day sale. That's right, after you finish rocking your vote in the election on March 3rd, come on down to Mikado's and enjoy a whopping 20% discount on all textiles store-wide. You heard right. After election, come make your selection and get 20% discount at Mikado's, your textile police.
Belizeans will once again go to the polls on March 3rd for municipal elections 2021. Channel 5 will bring you all-day live coverage from all 9 municipalities. Our nationwide correspondents and in-studio analysts will provide you with up-to-date reports and commentary from 6 a.m. until the last vote is counted and results declared. Municipal Elections 2021, Wednesday, March 3rd, live on Channel 5 and on our Facebook and YouTube pages.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, March 2nd. I am Marlene Cuellar. A well-known resident of San Jose Zacatz is dead. Gonzalo Rosado was in charge of the Border Management Agency at the Belize-Guatemala border for a number of years before stepping down from the post. But around 7 o'clock Monday night, a gunman pounced on him with lethal precision. A woman he had seen earlier that evening has been taken into custody, as it is believed that she may be involved in the deadly ambush. The search is on for 2 men who were also seen leaving the area after the incident. News 5's Isani Cayetano headed west today and has the following story.
Gonzalo Rosado, a former border manager, had just returned home to San Jose Socots following a quick run to nearby Benqueviejo to pick up a young woman. The 54-year-old was outside of his home and seated in his pickup truck when several shots were fired. When the shooting subsided, Rosado was found slumped over the steering wheel, mortally wounded from injuries he sustained at close range. Moments later, Mayor Marconi Sosa got wind of the deadly incident.
It's a shock for me. I didn't know that he was wanted. I didn't know that he had any major problems. So this news came as a surprise indeed. And having to learn that in effect he was shot, that made it worse.
Rosado was killed by someone who reportedly approached the vehicle and took aim squarely at him. The shocking murder on Monday night has left this quiet village shaken up. It is unclear why Rosado was attacked in such deadly fashion. While a criminal investigation is underway, the woman who he went to pick up from the neighboring community is in police custody.
It is left for the police to identify who did the killing, but as I say, it is a great surprise for me indeed.
Rosado's family declined to comment. However, his colleague in the United Democratic Party, outgoing Mayor Marconi Sosa, spoke about Rosado's involvement in politics.
When he became the border manager, he insisted that he would not leave his politics, and he continued doing the public speaking matters. That is very diligent of a good partisan boy. That is something that I would never forget Gonzalo for. I know him as a very good ally, as a friend that is going to speak with you the truth that he felt was supposed to have been said, and he always directed you to doing the things that you're supposed to do when you're going to speak to people. That generally is my relationship with him.
According to residents in the area, a pair of men and a woman were seen leaving the area following the shooting. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
There was a sizable haul of high-grade Mexican marijuana in Yochen, Corozal district on Monday morning, despite the suspected smugglers being able to evade capture. Police confiscated almost 700 pounds of cannabis found inside a vehicle abandoned by a pair of men who took off on foot after seeing the officers. 29 bales were discovered inside the vehicle, along with an AK-47 rifle and 2 magazines containing 80 rounds. There was also another high-powered rifle with 51 rounds of ammunition in a knapsack. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams spoke about the seizure.
In the Corozal district, police were on operation when they saw two individuals. Upon seeing the police, the individuals ran, leaving a vehicle behind. And the police searched the vehicle, which is a GMC pickup truck, double cab. And inside the vehicles, police found one AK-47 rifle and one M4 carbine rifle, and several bales of what we believe to be Mexican high-grade weed. The police are still in the process of processing the weed, or the cannabis, and as soon as we have the exact amount of kilos and the weight, we'll be sharing that with the media.
If you were hoping that a decrease in COVID-19 cases might mean an end to the 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, think again. The government of Belize has announced it will be extending the curfew for another 30 days and has amended the statutory instrument needed to do it. Additional short-term changes have been added for March 3rd, out of concern for public health during the municipal elections. This means the curfew for March 3rd starts at 8 p.m., so there will be no hanging around polling stations to celebrate or hear results. The SI also bans the sale of liquor from 6 p.m. on municipal election day, prohibits loitering at gatherings of more than 10 people, and soliciting voters near polling stations. There is one improvement for travelers under the statutory amendment. Anyone arriving with proof they have been immunized against COVID-19 will no longer have to undergo testing from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. However, non-Belizeans who do not comply will be denied entry and have to pay for their own repatriation. They still face quarantine if they cannot leave Belize immediately. After the break, find out where your age group, profession, or health issues put you on the Ministry of Health's priority list for COVID-19 vaccines. Stay with us.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned. But time and chance happens to them all." Here it appears that victory is determined by chance, by accident, or by good luck. But that's not what the case is. What it does suggest is that our victories in life are not necessarily dependent upon our human abilities and strength, but the sovereign providential acts of Almighty God, whereby He provides us with opportunities that seem to come at the right time and the right place. It simply becomes our responsibility to seize those moments and opportunities. This is why the Bible says, "So be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise." Make the most of every opportunity. In these evil days, we are constantly reminded that our times are in God's hands, that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delighteth in His way. That to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. God wants you to know that He has a plan and a purpose for your life. You are to pursue it and plan for it, but know that ultimate victory and success is not dependent upon your efforts, but by recognizing God's divine will for your life and walking in it. Then you will often find yourself at the right place and at the right time. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
My name is Patrick Williams, and I am offering myself as a councillor candidate this coming municipal election. I have been working tirelessly around the city, tackling issues such as road maintenance, garbage disposal, and drainage work to allow flow of water. When elected, I can reassure work will continue throughout our city and improve the living conditions for all citizens. Belize City deserves better through transparency, integrity, and unity. On March 3rd, make the right choice by voting Patrick Williams from the Belize Progressive Party. This is a new generation of leadership, and change starts now.
On Wednesday, 3rd March 2021, voters of the 9 municipalities will have an opportunity to elect the members to constitute their councils. On your ballot, it is your decision and choice. Exercise it. Be assured that the COVID-19 protocols will be in place for your safe voting. Let your decision be your choice. Voters must properly wear their face mask or other face, nose, and mouth covering, maintain consistent 6 feet social distancing, and sanitize hands before entering the polling station. Having entered the polling station, the voter shows his voter identification card and announce his name in an audible voice. All voters will be required to temporarily remove their face mask or nose and mouth covering for the purpose of verifying the facial identity of the voter. The first poll clerk verifies the particular of the voter on the voters list, while the second poll clerk verifies the particulars in the binder. The voter's name is then ruled off the voters list. The voter is then required to show his right index finger to ensure that he has not yet voted. The voter's right index finger is then sanitized. Allow finger to dry for 5 seconds before dipping it up to the first joint in the indelible ink. The voter is then directed to the presiding officer, who then initials a ballot paper and issues it to the voter, along with a sanitized pencil. The voter then proceeds to the polling booth and marks a cross on the right-hand side of the ballot, opposite the name of the candidates of his choice. With the ballot paper folded to conceal the vote, the voter shows the presiding officer her initials, places the ballot paper inside the ballot box, and then places the pencil in the container for used pencil for resanitization. The voter then exits the polling station. Remember, you are permitted to vote in Belize City for 1 mayor and 10 councillors. In Belmopan City and Towns for 1 mayor and 6 councillors. Disabled, elderly, and pregnant women will be given priority. Electors are encouraged to take along their voter identification card to their polling station to facilitate the process. Your ballot paper will be considered void if it does not have the presiding officer's initials, if the voter has voted for more candidates than there are seats, if the ballot paper is not marked for any candidate, if the ballot paper contains any mark that can identify the voter, and if the ballot paper is unmarked or void for uncertainty. Let your decision be your choice. Always remember to follow all COVID-19 protocols to keep safe. A message brought to you by the Elections and Boundaries Department.
Unlike the other guys, Digi doesn't throttle customers down to 3G.
Which is why anyone would be a fool not to invest. So, do we have a deal? Hello? Hello?
Instead, Digi offers more LTE speeds in all mobile phone plans.
You, sir, are brilliant. Thank you for doing business with us.
Plus, the most affordable prepaid mobile data plan starting as low as $1.
Yo, Griga! Make sure you do the right thing, you know. Vote for Team Robert Mariano. Don't know. They want different thing, right? So make we vote PUP. In this election, we have vote for the right man. A man for Griga. We have vote for a brand new mayor. We have vote Mariano. Vote Robert Mariano. Vote Mariano. Vote PUP. Came on. Aston Padillo. Came on. Harris Valentine. Came on. Sean Flores. Came on. Howard Flores. Came on. Martha Robinson. Liberato Teul. Came on. Dambugana. Came on. PUP. Mariano will work closely with our central government. Oh yes, he will.
We know it's not a public and bank holiday, but that doesn't mean you can't find the time to take advantage of Mikado's Election Day sale. That's right, after you finish rocking your vote in the election on March 3rd, come on down to Mikado's and enjoy a whopping 20% discount on all textiles store-wide. You heard right, after election, come make your selection and get 20% discount at Mikado's, your textile police.
This week, as the limited supply of COVID-19 vaccine doses Belize obtained from Barbados is being used for frontline healthcare workers, you may be wondering when vaccinations will be available for you, your loved ones, and co-workers. According to the Ministry of Health's Vaccine Plan Belize, there will be 5 phases of the rollout when the larger supply of COVAX vaccines arrive beginning at the end of this month. In Phase 1, in addition to healthcare workers, Belizeans over the age of 60 and people with conditions like cancer, HIV, or those needing dialysis will be vaccinated first. Phase 2 will include teachers and police officers, members of the National Assembly, Judiciary, Customs, and Immigration. The tourism sector will also be included in Phase 2. Phase 3 will be for BDF, Coast Guard, and the National Fire Service. It also includes people with comorbidities, Red Cross personnel, and all utility workers and bank employees. Phase 4 is for all public officers not covered by any of the previous phases and transportation workers, both public and private. The last phase is for younger and middle-aged people, also not included in other phases from ages 18 to 59. Frontline healthcare staff began receiving their vaccinations today. Among the first this morning were healthcare workers at the Corozal Community Hospital, Matron Roberts Polyclinic, Central Health Regional, San Pedro Polyclinic, the Integral Clinic, and Belize Medical Associates. The simultaneous rollout today also included vaccinations at San Ignacio Community Hospital, Western Regional Hospital, Southern Regional, and the Specialist and Independence Clinics, the Isabella Palma Polyclinic, and Punta Gorda Hope Building. Vaccinations for frontline workers continue through the rest of the week, including at the Carl Huchta Memorial and Northern Regional. The ministry is encouraging all COVID-19 workers to get immunized to protect both their own health and that of their patients. Minister of Health Michelle Shabat participated in several legs of today's effort in solidarity with medical personnel. As the administering of some 500 doses of COVID-19 vaccine gets underway at the nation's public health hospitals and clinics, over at the Belize Medical Associates in Belize City, 15 staffers, including nurses, technicians from the COVID-19 unit, also got vaccinated. Internist Dr. Fernando Cuellar spoke to News 5 today about people's apprehension about the vaccine and even conspiracy theories that may make them hesitant to get their shot.
I know that there might be a lot of fear, everybody's scared because of the new thing. But we must remember that in Belize, we have one tradition, one culture, we have one reputation, we have one record of having good vaccination numbers. No? Everybody get vaccination from them small, from you're a baby, without even realizing that. I think we have one percentage of maybe over 95% of Belizeans getting vaccinated from a ban. And yes, you could understand the real fears, the concerns, but it's all goes down to fear, because I want to take it because I've done enough researches, I've had enough recommendation from colleagues internationally, nationally, that it's number one, safe. That's the first thing I think people need to overcome, that it's a very safe vaccine, okay? You do have, unfortunately, like everything else, you could have one reaction. The area where they give you the vaccine might hurt. You might go and leave flu-like symptoms. That means you're going to leave, like you catch one cold or one flu, leave body ache, leave fever. And unfortunately, some people could have more severe reaction, but that's very, very, very small amount. And then, of course, you have those who would say, well, they don't trust because they hear one thing for wipe out the black man, they hear one thing for sterilize people, they hear one thing for change your mentality, all kind of thing, but that's not true. And we need to understand that you could still catch it even though you get the vaccine, but run the risk of having it severe, or run the risk of end up in the ICU and the dead and so forth. So for yourself, it's good, and for other people, because then you are stop the easy transmission from one to the next.
Dr. Cuellar also reacted to the information shared by the Ministry of Health and Wellness personnel, which suggests that a startling 35% of frontline healthcare workers do not want to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Of note is that a number of these professionals have contracted the virus. Several doctors lost their fight with the virus, while others have recovered. Dr. Cuellar says the resistance is disheartening, and he urges his colleagues to reconsider.
They have one higher number than we anticipated. We made think that maybe only 10, maybe max only 20%, but you're in the 30% of people will decide not to take the vaccine out our old head, and that is disappointing. You hear that they need more data, but Lord, we didn't know this thing for a whole year. Where more data you need, my ball? Okay? And that point is a bit disappointing, that colleagues in this industry, they react so negatively. And I'll give one good example to people overall. So I tell my Belizean brothers and sisters, please, for yourself, for the country, get your vaccine.
But what about teachers? Well, Belizean educators will be relieved to find out they are among one of the first groups included in the vaccine rollout plan. Because the Ministry of Education is expecting face-to-face learning to resume in August-September, the government is prioritizing teacher vaccinations to assist in the safe reopening of schools. But what will happen if some teachers refuse to get their shot? Will those teachers be penalized? Here's how Prime Minister John Briceño responded to that question from News 5 on Monday.
I don't think the teacher will be asked to resign, but then the teacher needs to be fully conscious of that bad decision. I may say something more stronger, but if they decide not to take that vaccine, but then that should not prevent then that teacher to use the excuse that they don't go teach because they don't get the vaccine. They will have to go to teach, as far as I'm concerned. We need to get the children back to school.
Minister of Education Francis Fonseca recently commented on plans to kickstart the reopening of schools for all Belizean students in August and September, and a possible phased reopening even earlier. Principal Jamie Usher of Belize High School spoke to News 5 today about the school's readiness for the reopening pilot project.
We are hoping to be one of the schools, not because of any other reason than we believe that our smaller population can allow for a reopening, but we believe that once we create a safe space, any school should be able to reopen once we have guidelines in place. So the same way they opened up with the hotels, checklists, and so forth, I believe that we can push that out to all the schools, because I know from my communications with other principals, a lot of schools are absolutely ready. So when your team visited us this morning, you got a taste of our health protocols, and that is something that we will be right here, vaccine or no vaccine, COVID or no vaccine. I think it means that we can interact safely, but we need to start interacting again. I believe that the Ministry of Education has already said that it will be a group setting, so it shifts. So it won't be everybody coming back. And that's kind of softened it a little, but we still believe that if we can get those groups to come in earlier, that it shouldn't be something that should be a limiting factor. It should be something that should be open to everybody.
As principal, how soon would you like to see students get back into the classroom?
Honestly, I would just like a chance for my strategic planning to come on board. I think the decisions that I make involve a lot of different factors of our community. So once they give the go-ahead, no decision will be taken until I get representatives from my student, my parent, and my teacher community.
When News 5 returns, enticing visitors to extend their stays and free tourism training for Belizeans. The strategies for post-COVID tourism recovery after the break.
So at the year and a half, it was then that I was told that I need to be keenly with my son, Ben's son, because it could be both ways. It could turn out to be acting like a girl, having a male organ. And I maybe put my mind to it that whatever you want to be, like it was say, make it be. Being a mother and a Christian at the same time, I will stand on the words of God. I can't change who my son is. I only could encourage them if you do what God has planned. So he was a blessing from my baptism. And if this was the child that God gave to me, then I need to love him and continue loving him until the day I die. That's my son.
for the club, y'all gonna get it up like house. Shine on. Yeah, the night is going fine. All the ladies on the dime like house. Shine on. Let's jazz and raise it up. No, we cannot get enough like house. Shine on. Shine on with Lighthouse Lager.
Belmopan, no better time than now. I am Ralston Fraser, Fraze for Mayor. I address you as your independent mayoral candidate with extensive experience. I have served you as councillor, as deputy mayor, as city administrator. As your mayor, I will stand with you. I will stand for you. I will not be pawn to any. On March 3rd, next week Wednesday, you can choose the good candidate. You can choose the better candidate. Or you can choose simply the best candidate to work with you. The power of history is in your pen. At the very bottom of your ballot paper, choose Ralston Fraser. Phrase for mayor. Simply the best candidate. No better time than now to be the change you seek. Thank you.
We all know the importance of running water and proper drainage in your home. That's why we rely on a fully functional plumbing system. At Benny's, we have all the plumbing supplies and accessories you need. Our pipes, fittings, valves, and adapters are made from durable quality materials. Remember to wash your hands with clean running water from your faucet. We have kitchen and bathroom faucets in various styles and finishes. Whether for installation or maintenance, make sure to use recommended PVC cleaner, solvent, and Teflon tape to fix or prevent leaks. We also have the tools to get the job done. For all your residential, commercial, or industrial plumbing needs, shop at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Sangriga needs love. With Team Humphreys, Sangriga deserves development. And the people need love. So make we stay. We hit the best. Sangriga first. So make we vote. Just make we vote. Make we stay. Cause the only way. People need help. We need betterment. In the culture capital of belief. Development in our environment is the mission of the UDP team. Helping youth, supporting their programs, and scholarships for education. Oh, we need some true leaders, and the UDP team will work. So make we vote. Just make we vote. Make we stay. Cause the only way. Invest in culture and sports. Yes, the UDP team will support. Giving back to our community with honesty and integrity. Working as one people. Earl Lopez will serve the people. Albert Marshall say equality. Jake Gongora will work for we. Yes, under the leadership of Francis Humphreys, UDP provide opportunities. Gary Francisco, Alex Joseph, and Aurel Castillo will surely do their best. So make we vote. Just make we vote. Make we stay. Cause the only way.
Welcome to Belize Medical Associates. As we embrace the new normal, we aim to do everything possible to ensure that our patients and staff remain safe. We not only ensure that everyone sanitizes upon entrance, but we also do temperature checks and screening, as well as daily sanitization of the entire compound. Your health and safety are paramount. With over 30 years' experience in providing healthcare, we strive to remain the leader in expert quality care by offering over 26 experienced doctors that provide specialist clinics, as well as a fully stocked pharmacy with a qualified and courteous staff that is ready to serve you. You can now refill your prescriptions by sending a photo of it via WhatsApp to 653-1042 and pick up the following day. Or you can take advantage of our curbside pickup service. We boast not only a fully digital imaging center with the most modern technology in our MRI and CT scan services, but also one of the most accurate and efficient laboratory services in Belize, with our state-of-the-art instrumentation and qualified personnel. Having recently acquired the MindRay BS480 clinical chemistry analyzer, this fully automated equipment has the capacity to conduct over 500 tests per hour, a first of its kind not only in Belize, but the entire Caribbean. At BMA, we stand ready to serve you. Our ICU and trauma units remain fully equipped and functional as we continue to provide 24-hour emergency care. Call us at 223-0303. We at Belize Medical Associates encourage all to keep the faith and remain vigilant in our fight against this pandemic. We will get through this together. Belize Medical Associates. We do care.
The Belize Tourism Board is re-strategizing the way forward for the industry. Changes include rerouting funding to bolster domestic Belizean tourism and improving basic infrastructure at major and emerging tourist destinations across the country.
Product development is also an issue. For example, we were in Hopkins the other day and we had discussions with the private sector down there. And so immediately I got on the phone with the Ministry of Works, who said that they're willing to partner with us and the private sector, and hopefully within the next month or so we can pave the last mile or two of that main Hopkins Road just to start. But there's certain things that we're looking at as well. Some infrastructure in San Pedro, Keycacker, Hopkins, Placencia, all those areas we're looking at in terms of the infrastructure.
The Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations is also looking at the competitiveness of Belize as a long-stay destination within the region. Whether international visitors are coming to Belize by sea, land, or air, Minister Mahler wants them to consider staying a bit longer in the Jewel. Perhaps even making Belize their work-from-home second home.
All destinations throughout the world will want to get their share of the market. So we have to be ready. And so we're looking at our competitiveness as a destination as we move forward. We're looking again at two programs, a long stay program and a qualified retirement program, whereby we're adjusting those legislations to invite people to come and work here, digital nomads, and the retired persons who want to come to Belize to retire. We're adjusting those legislation to make it easier for them to invest and live in Belize.
Continuous training for tourism stakeholders is also part of the strategic plan for the tourism industry. Tourism Minister Anthony Mahler explains its importance.
In the past, when I was at the board, people used to say in the high season that they're too busy to mess with training, and in the slow season they're too broke to participate in training. So we want to roll out training within the next month or so in all sectors of the industry, but it is going to be free. The board is going to incur that cost, but we're going to partner with BTIA and BHA for us to roll out some significant training programs.
Mahler says more details will be announced soon, so look out for more on these free training programs. Wondering what's happening with Belize-Guatemala relations? Find out just who will be meeting at the adjacency zone this week when we return.
PUP, that love.
Yo, where they represent for Mr. Ramon Kiros and the PUP7, the Twin Tongues of Kaya. I was there. Yo. tongues I call you. Roman heroes are the one we wire. Inna the twin tongues for me is a true leader, the one we desire. In never have a fear, wanna see progress, more infrastructure. Roman heroes, him a the one for ya.
Roman heroes are the man for the twin tongues in a car, yo. UDP, them a straight liar, them just a talk and a spread false promises to the people. Tell me how them a go so. If you want see a change and a true leader, Mr. Roman heroes are the man who rate ya. Upliftment for the twin tongues, POP are the fittest, so we don't want no other.
POP 7 are the one we want ya. For the twin tongues I call you. Roman heroes are the one we want ya. Inna the twin tongues for me is a true leader, the one we desire. Him never have a fear, wanna see progress, more infrastructure. Roman heroes, him a the one for ya.
From what Roman heroes on PUP 7, them set the order, them set the trend, me say the twin tongues them come to represent. UDP, them never do nothing. You're from Santa Elena, vote PUP 7. You're from San Ignacio, vote PUP 7. If you're from the twin tongues, vote PUP 7. Representing for Ramon Kiros and the PUP 7.
PUP 7 are the one we want ya. For the twin tongues I call you. Roman heroes are the one we want ya. Inna the twin tongues for me is a true leader, the one we desire. Him never have a fear, wanna see progress, more infrastructure. Roman heroes, him a the one for ya. On March 3rd, come out and vote for PUP 7 in the twin tongues of Cayo. Mr. Ramon Quiroz, Mr. Zahir Figueroa, Mr. Aaron Mai, Mr. Omar Rodriguez, Mrs. Shirley Neal, Mr. Alberto Palma, Mr. Matthew Silva.
Start your year with a win with Bellikin and its new promotion, Papa Stopper. Yes, sir. Every time you pop one stopper off our Bellikin, make sure you check under the crown. If you see one bottle shape, you win one free Bellikin. If you see one ball, you win $20. If you see one star, you win $100. And once you see one diamond, you win $1,000. Sure, Bellikin again, you know. Papa Stopper. When you pop a stopper off a Bellikin, check to see if you're a winner. You can collect your free beer or $20 cash prize at the store nearest to you. If you win $100 or $1,000, redeem your prize at the nearest B&B sales center.
Promotion is valid until Saturday, March 27th or while supplies last.
Papa Stopper!
Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Congratulations to our Bellikin Papa Stopper winners today. Continue popping those stoppers off of Bellikin for a chance to win free beer, $20, $100, or $1,000.
Papa Stopper!
Bellikin, the beer of Belize.
Hello? Okay, sure, I'll be there. Hello?
Hi, Mommy. When are you coming home? I really miss you.
Hearing the voice of our loved ones can always lift our spirits and make us feel whole again. With Smart's twice as nice promotion, prepaid customers who make 5 minutes worth of national calls on Sundays can enjoy 50% off. Top double on all national calls for the rest of the day. Call your loved ones and enjoy half off all day long. Smart, bringing people together.
What a beautiful morning in Popsville. Time to check the crops. Uh-oh, the insects are back. Farmer Ricky plans to double his dosage to get rid of these pests once and for all. Oh no, no more insecticide. Well, off to the store we go. Hey, it's good old Joe.
Good morning, Joe. I'd like to get 4 bottles of Compound V, please, and double dosing to fight back the insects.
Compound V, you said? It doesn't sound familiar. Let me see what you have. Ricky, where did you get this product? It doesn't have proper label information and could be filled with highly hazardous chemicals called persistent organic pollutants. You should really get one that's POPs free, which is safer and approved for pest control. Ricky, it's time we talked about the dangers of misusing highly toxic pesticides. Some pesticides contain highly hazardous ingredients that can harm you and your loved ones if handled incorrectly. So when we improperly store pesticides, it can affect our health in the long and short term. To be safe, make sure to remember these following tips to avoid unnecessary chemical exposure. It's important to always read your label fully before using any treatment on your crops. To avoid dangerous contact with pesticides, including airborne insecticides, make sure to wear appropriate personal protective equipment. Apply the recommended chemical dosage and use far away from human contact and from active winds. To avoid cross-contamination, make sure to follow these simple steps to dispose of pesticide containers. And no matter what you do, don't throw it in any old waste bin. Always make sure to triple rinse, puncture, and store separately for proper disposal. And for an even safer approach to pesticide use, consider switching to organic farming and other integrated pest management processes. For more information on how to dispose of hazardous pesticides, contact your local waste management agency or visit stopthepops.com for more details. Sometimes danger lurks where you least expect it. The more you know, the healthier you can grow.
The territorial dispute between Guatemala and Belize is before the International Court of Justice, with Guatemala having completed its submissions to the court on its claim of Belize's land and maritime area. For the next year and a half, the team of attorneys on our side of the border will be filing its position on the matter before proceedings commence at The Hague. But on Thursday, at the Adjacency Zone office of the Organization of American States in the West, a meeting will be held between Belize's Foreign Minister Eamon Courtney and the Foreign Minister of Guatemala, Pedro Brolo. Following this meeting, a joint press conference will be held with both foreign ministers. Media from both countries will attend. The municipal elections 2021 polls open in less than 24 hours, starting at 7 on Wednesday morning. There are 67 municipal seats up for grabs, and the residents of Corozal Bay will also be choosing their area representative in the by-election. At last Friday's UDP press conference, party leader Patrick Faber said he is confident about the slates they have put forward. In fact, he's planning on the UDP winning just about every seat because he says the Belizean populace is not happy with the PUP.
On Wednesday, there is no doubt that this United Democratic Party will be engaging fully. I am of the belief that we can win all 67 seats countrywide, and we are not leaving any stones unturned, and we will ensure victory for our party on Wednesday. In these weeks leading up to Wednesday's municipal election, I have been traveling around this country, and what the Belizean people have been saying is, Mr. Faber, Mr. UDP leader, yes, either one of them people will vote for the People's United Party, but are sorry because all the good works of the UDP are now discontinued. We see that Plan Belize really is no plan for Belize. They had no plan. People are saying across this country that they regretted voting for the People's United Party, and that on March 3rd they will send that first signal. I have no doubt about that.
Channel 5 will have live coverage from the opening of the polls until the last ballot is counted across all municipalities, beginning at 6 a.m. After the break, we often say children are the future. But what about robots? The story of how one Belize City High School has students teaming up with machines when we return.
Todos estamos en riesgo de contraer la COVID-19. por lo que es importante reconocer rápidamente los signos y síntomas de la infección. Los síntomas más comunes son fiebre, tos seca y cansancio o fatiga. Algunas personas también pueden tener dolor de garganta, dolores y molestias, congestión nasal o diarrea. Pero algunas personas también han reportado conjuntivitis, dolor de cabeza, pérdida de sabor u olor, sarpullido en la piel o un cambio en el color de los dedos de las manos o los pies. Los signos de alarma de emergencia que requieren atención médica inmediata son dificultad extrema para respirar, dolor constante y severo o presión en el pecho, confusión, dificultad para hablar o moverse, labios, rostro, dedos de las manos o de los pies azulados. Para mayor información, llame al 0800-664-2273. Protejamos nuestra salud.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Es un hecho que puedes obtener servicios ilimitados con Smart. ¿Cansado de que se corte la línea cuando más necesitas estar conectado? Es un hecho que cuando te suscribes al plan de Smart Plus, obtienes llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Y también es un hecho que te puedes suscribir con un grupo de 5 miembros al plan Smart Share y hasta 40 miembros al plan Smart Enterprise para llamadas, textos y datos ilimitados. Smart tiene los verdaderos planes ilimitados. Es un hecho. Sé Smart y vive de forma Smart.
There's an exciting robotics competition happening later this month. It involves fun learning where students pick up new skills that they can apply in other areas of their studies. Belize High School is hosting the contest and looking for a few more participants. Reporter Andrea Polanco tells us more.
The length of the robot is 360, so you have to times it how far you want it to go. So you have to times 360 by 360 by 360 for however long you want.
Safia Asher is a Standard 5 student at the Belize Elementary School. She's also a competitor in the first Lego League, which is a robotics competition for young people.
You need to see which way you want to turn, left or right. Then you decide which. If you want to turn left, you have to keep the right wheel on 0, and then the left wheel has to be, able to turn, and how far you want it to turn. And then, now let's see this little program that I have for you here. See that?
This board where Safia is operating her robots is what's used in the first Lego League. It's part of a global robotics competition where lower-level students apply skills to gain real-world problem-solving experiences. The theme for this year's competition is called Replay. Godfrey Sosa is the IT director of the Belize High School.
When we look at the board, there are 14 missions that has to be completed. There are several of them that involves, maybe you see a tire, that the robot will have to go to the tire and flip the tire up. Another way of being active. This first one here that has the little blue pull-up, that's what they refer to as a pull-up bar. So the robot will have to go, take the wheel that is on the ground, and pull the wheel back, simulating a person still, keeping active, doing a pull-up bar.
Robotics help to build important soft skills from teamwork to problem-solving skills. It teaches research and coding while reinforcing science, technology, engineering, and math concepts among students in a hands-on environment.
What I really like about robotics is that it's like out of classroom. You're learning school, but you're just not in the classroom. So you're just learning physics and math, and you learn to cope with it and everything like that. I feel like it's more like a teamwork kind of thing. I mean, I like working with my friends and stuff to help me accomplish something, and when we win, it's like, yay, we've accomplished a good teamwork.
It is a good opportunity to try to get kids, from a very early age, all engaged into new areas, into new fields. And one of those up-and-coming fields is robotics. So what we're trying to do here is trying to offer this as a way to inspire them in terms of thinking outside the box from traditional career paths.
And now the BHS wants other students to join in on the fun educational experience of playing and working with robots. For second year, they're hosting a robotics competition for students ages 9 to 14. BHS Principal Jamie Usher says there are still some open spaces.
We're looking for a team of 6 that's able to be mentored by a parent or a teacher. So it doesn't have to be directly from a school, but we do have 3 more spots open where they can contact us about joining up, and we will work out the safe logistics with you in order to get you to build and start to practice working up to the end of the month. The core values of FIRST talk about discovery and impact, innovation, but it also includes fun and teamwork. And where a lot of students want to get back to school, it's more for the social side. They miss their friends, they miss chatting with their teacher face to face. So this is a little demo way that we can really showcase the benefit of working together, both in planning how to get our schools to open and both in planning how to get our kids to catch up.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.
The robotics competition is set for March 27th. And that's the news. Remember that our coverage of the municipal election starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Our teams have been deployed countrywide, and we are ready to bring you the latest updates from all 9 municipalities. We'll be here with you until the last results are in. Catch us live right here on Channel 5 or on our Facebook page and YouTube live streaming. Meanwhile, tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at News 5 Live. I'm Marlene Cuellar. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.